In movies and money, Taylor Swift struts away with more than $200 million from worldwide ticket sales of her Eras concert film. But she lost the top spot at the box office to Five Nights at Freddy's. Our film critic Erik Childress, the founder of Movie Madness podcast, is here with a horror show. Why do you think Freddy's was able to smash Halloween weekend records?
Interest, Angie, just pure interest. This video game is a much bigger thing with a certain generation than I think anyone gave it credit for. Of course, those saying that the $80 million of the film made on the pre-Halloween weekend was because of quality, well, that's a lot of hocus pocus. But Freddy's just demolished all of it, and given there are multiple sequels to the game, it seems very likely a new film will be greenlit shortly, and hopefully one not nearly as boring and maybe even scary.
This weekend just might belong to the latest film from Sofia Coppola. Here's a look at Priscilla.
Just what is the intent here, Mr. Presley? You got women throwing themselves at you. Why my daughter?
Well, sir, I happen to be very fond of your daughter. She's much more mature than her age.
21!
22. That's 22.
Erik, will Priscilla be a winner? And wasn't this supposed to be an opening weekend of the big Dune sequel? But the actors' strike had something to do with that. What do you know?
Yes, Angie, though the weekend will likely again belong to the boring animatronic puppets of Five Nights at Freddy's, A24 is widely releasing Sofia Coppola's Priscilla, which tells the story of Priscilla Presley from her early teenage days with Elvis through moments of her marriage. Many critics are calling it one of the best films of the year, and it will be interesting to see how it does this weekend after an okay limited launch this past weekend. But as you said, this weekend initially belonged to Dune Part 2, the conclusion of the epic sci-fi tale that Denis Villeneuve started back in 2021. Instead, Warner Brothers delayed the film in order to wait for the actors' strike to be settled so members of its extensive cast can hit the publicity rounds. There's certainly some debate right now as to how much this is actually affecting the box office numbers.
You have a pair of recommendations for this weekend, one to find in theaters and another on Netflix.
Exactly, Angie. To start with Netflix this weekend, you could find the documentary Sly about Sylvester Stallone, which I found to be a much more engaging film than just another career highlights package. It is more about the turmoil between fame and creativity, and Stallone has a lot to say looking back on a career with not just iconic characters, but iconic choices within those movies that we cherish. So check that one out. But speaking of movies to cherish, Alexander Payne's The Holdovers expands wider across the country this week. This is his reunion with Paul Giamatti after Sideways nearly 20 years ago, and it is another winner. Giamatti plays a gruff boarding school professor who gets chosen as the designated guardian over Christmas break for the students who can't go home, and he develops a friendship with a troubled boy played by newcomer Dominic Sessa. It's an old-fashioned kind of crowd pleaser that is really funny and tremendously moving. A film you do not want to miss, as it will also give you a head start on the eventual award nominations.
Thank you, Erik.
Thank you, Angie.
Go to businessfirstam.com for where to see our show on TV.